little shallow water edge right here. A lot of sticks, so I don't want it down in the water. I'm just gonna work it like almost like a surface bait. It's one reason I like the braid. It gives a lot more action directly to the bait, a lot more snapping kind of action to it. Puts a little different vibration into the water. I fish it like this quite a lot, where I'll pop it on the surface like this and then pause it and stall it out and let it fish right there, and then I'll move it with the reel really fast, and then I'll pause it again and let it fall, and you'll get them on that pause and that quick movement. You kind of trigger that. Maybe it's a reaction strike, maybe it's a feeding strike, I'm not sure, but you trigger them to think it's getting away and they just want to bite it. Bass are kind of like, I guess, like cats in a way. They don't have to be like, they don't have to be hungry to hunt. They hunt to hunt. And I've noticed that in just the tanks. They'll just eat fish to eat them. They don't have to be hungry. So they'll just continuously feed in a situation that they can. You know, they don't stop feeding. So I go in there usually with this presentation. That's a perfect example. Into my spot, just dead stick the bait. Let it sit for 30 seconds, a minute, sometimes longer. And then when I move it quick. Pop, 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 and then let it fall back down to the bottom. So I'm kind of fishing, it's a slow presentation, but I'm fishing a slow presentation with a reaction strike type mentality, where any fish that like maybe gets curious and goes over to that bait, the bait is slow and then the bait is fast. And by exaggerating that, either stop or start, that kind of that type of movement will entice a bass to bite. And I trigger a lot of strikes that way. And I trigger a lot of strikes from big fish so far with these oversized baits like this. That oversized plastic, they see it, they can feel it with their lateral line system. Bass can feel vibration very well on their body, alongside their body with their lateral line. And these big plastic baits like this are displacing the water differently than a lot of other baits. And the bass can recognize that, they can feel that. That's what I really like about this Bellows gill. It's just very different. Okay, I'm just going to go kind of my normal pattern on it. Just throw it in, let it settle. I'm watching the line. I made sure that I thumbed it when it went in, so my line's very tight to my lure and floating up on the water high so I can see it. And since that line's floating in the water, I don't know if you guys can see that line, but I'll just bump it. It'll do like that. I bump the reel, but you'll see the line tighten up when a fish hits it. So I kind of use the line as a strike indicator on that dead stick. Now, I bumped it a little bit when I turned the reel, moved it a little bit. That's something to pay attention to, you know. Maybe that little bump of the reel causes a strike. You know, bump the reel again if that happens. Now I just twitch the rod tip to move it a little bit. Maybe that causes a strike. You know, maybe the rod tip high and you reel 3 times causes the strike. Well, there it is right there. Not bad. What you gonna do about that, big boy? Now what happened there, we got that strike. Pretty decent little fish. You gonna get one more kick up, big boy? Oh, Now there's a perfect example of, you know, pay attention to what you did and remember it. But I can tell you that there was a lot of sticks down there, and he really got pinned well. There we go. That's a fairly nice 3-pound fish or so. 3-4 pounder, I don't know.